Welcome to Greater Good Radio Hawaii, where leaders inspire leaders. Greater Good Radio Hawaii is dedicated to social entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Evan Leong, and with me is my co-host, Carrie Leong.
Today's guest is Leah Bernstein, president of Mountain Apple Company. Leah has been with the Mountain Apple Company since 1980, where she began as a receptionist with only 2 co-workers. With her involvement, the unprecedented growth cycle has been achieved every year of Mountain Apple's existence. Please welcome to Greater Good Radio, Leah Bernstein. Welcome to our show, Leah.
Thank you so much.
So as president of the Mountain Apple Company, what is your role? What do you do on a daily basis?
Anything that needs to get done. Primarily, I try and keep all departments moving forward so that we can continue to distribute Hawaiian music around the world.
So you started off as the receptionist. Can you tell us that interesting story of how you made it up all the way to president?
It was a pretty quick ride, actually. I had met John DeMello when I was in Los Angeles at a recording studio. And my husband was going to law school at the time in Los Angeles, and we decided to move back to Hawaii when he had passed the California bar to take the Hawaii bar, because this is where we wanted to make our home. And I had officially retired from the music business. I was never going back into it again. I had been in the music business since I was about 9 years old, helping out in my early years, and with my sister in a company that she worked for in Los Angeles. And I just had a lot of experience in it, but I had retired from it. I was tired of it. It was over for me. And about 4 months into my retirement, I was very bored, and John DeMello heard that I was very bored and came up and offered me a job one day, and I took it and started the next day.
And then what did he say? He said, I'm starting a company, come be the receptionist?
No, the company had already started. Mountain Apple was already 2 years old at the time, and he said he had a position in the company, and he thought I might fit. And they needed a receptionist at the time, and I needed something to do in the daytime.
So did that bother you, though, being that, you were so knowledgeable about the music industry, and here he's saying, would you like to be my receptionist?
Not at all, because I knew that he would see that I had some value for the company. And it was the first day I was there answering the phone, I knew anybody who called, just about everybody who had called from the mainland. I knew personally already. So John is pretty astute, and he realized that I didn't need to be trained in a lot of areas that most people would think I needed to be trained in. But what I needed was the knowledge of how to work in a local business and how to work with local artists and what Hawaiian music and local music really was. Because it's not it's primarily Hawaiian music, but it's not all Hawaiian music.
And then how'd you get that knowledge?
Being in it. Hit and miss a lot of times. I think that's basically the way you learn how to work in any culture.
So you're not from Hawaii, right?
No, I'm not.
Where are you from originally?
I was born in New York, spent the first 10 years of my life in New York, and then my family moved to Los Angeles. And I had moved here when I was maybe 19 years old, 18 or 19 years old, and I worked for Tom Moffat at Kapoi Radio at that time. And then my husband decided to go to law school, and we moved back to the mainland because UH Law School, it was in its first year and not accredited at the time. So we moved back to Los Angeles for 4 years, and that's how I met John DeMello. I was working in a recording studio in Los Angeles that he used.
So your parents were in the music industry?
My older sister, my parents weren't in the music industry, but my older sister was.
Was she a singer or entertainer?
No, she was basically what I am today. Basically, she ran an office, and she worked for a gentleman named Lou Adler, who is a legend today. He produces shows like the Emmys and little things like that. And at the time, she was his secretary at Reprise Records, and then he broke off from Reprise and started Dunhill. And she was the only office worker at the time, so that's why I started so young, because I was her 9-year-old sister that could come in and fill out papers, fill out forms and stuff envelopes and do whatever they needed to do with this brand new company.
What kind of forms are you filling out at 9 years old with curly Q kind of writing?
I was filling out copyright forms.
Oh, yeah. I
was filling out kind of crazy things and just filing, doing things that needed to be done around the office. And it was, I was a gopher. It was exciting to me. I was a young girl, and they were working with Jan and Dean, the Mamas and the Papas, the Grassroots, the Turtles. And I got to sit in on a lot of those sessions, those recording sessions, and I was starstruck. I thought this was fun. It was a lot more fun than babysitting or working at McDonald's. So
how come you wanted to get out of it?
after Los Angeles is a tough place, and the music business in the 70s was very, very difficult. It was cutthroat, it was nasty, and when I got to Hawaii, everything seemed so happy. And I was like, I can't go back into the music business. This is so wonderful. And what I found out is that the music business in Hawaii is as wonderful as just living here. So it worked out really well.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.